Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Black Girls Livin. You're joined with Vic
and Jasmine.
And we have a special guest in the building. You guys will be very happy. I know it's come up in section. What can I speak? It's been suggested that we get this person on. We said we're working on it. And we worked on it, and here she is. So do you want to just introduce yourself to the people then?
Thank you so much for having me. I don't know how do I introduce myself. My name is Toni Tone. I'm a writer, content creator. I'm currently on the show Highlife on Channel 4.
Everybody make some noise! It's Toni. If you don't know Toni, I'm sure you have. You've seen her tweets. Mm-hmm. You have seen her tweets. You've read her work. You've seen her on Channel 4. But I remember time ago when you used to, I don't think you were doing it, you were writing threads as if you knew it was going to be the outcome. I don't think you knew that it was going to be written work or even articles or nothing. But you was writing really, and you still do, really, really insightful threads on relationships and love and friendship.
Thank you.
And I remember it used to trigger people and be like, I hope you don't mind me saying, but some people are like, why is that girl always writing threads? Or I go, I said, so somebody can't write now.
I mean, somebody can't write again. Oh my God. Yeah, when I first started, I used to get a lot of negative comments and a lot of people trolling me about writing too much. And in a way, when I look back, it's kind of funny because it was never really about the content of said writing. It was just the fact I write a lot.
Wow.
But then the irony is, look at me now.
Look
I'm sorry. That's the irony.
I'm
getting paper.
What's the publisher that you're writing your book with?
HarperCollins.
It's not a small thing. No, it's actually not. Is it Fourth Estate as well?
Yeah.
No, guys.
Chimamanda.
Chimmers. No, it's not. It's laying your lane.
You didn't call her Chimmers.
Same as.
Guys, it's not a small thing.
Same as Little Black Book. Yeah, same as the taper. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, but I looking back, one thing that I made sure I did during that entire naysayer process, and everyone has that naysayer hurdle, was just not letting it get to me. Because there were times where I won't lie, I wanted to stop writing because people were just she writes so much. Oh my God, what's wrong? She's so emotional. Why is she always writing? But I would just rather than internalize that, I had to remind myself that, you know what? Okay, cool. You write a lot, and so what?
Yeah, but
who are you hurting and who are you helping? You're helping more people than hurting people.
But do you know what I think it is? I think it's particularly men don't like when women help other women grow forward. Have you seen these memes where it's women don't even call us to have makeup sex anymore. They just get over the breakup. They're evolving. Yeah, we're really even when Aloni does her friends, people are like, what, women cheat? Or wow, women have power now.
The way that recent one scattered men was incredible. It was incredible. And I'm just look at the power of Aloni. Seriously, that woman is a powerhouse.
Yeah, I love her. She's amazing at what she does.
She scattered men internationally.
Good. But yeah, how are you feeling about the book launch? How are you feeling about it all?
I'm super excited. I can't wait for the book to be out because I can't wait for people to read it and hear what they have to think about it. And so much has been leading up to this point. And I think that the book has enabled me to share my writing, but in a deeper way. Because obviously Twitter is quite limiting. What is it? 200 something characters. There's only so much you can say. And now I've been given the chance to share what I've kind of shared already, but on a deeper level. And I think in a more helpful way. Because I try my best to help people through my tweets, but with, 2,000 words versus 25,000, there's a big difference.
And also you should be paid for your work.
Facts.
Yeah. When I read the book, honestly, I messaged Jazz and I was like, it's going to be a bestseller. I think it's going to be one of those staples where your friend goes through a breakup, or in fact, I don't think you need to read it if you're single. You can be in a relationship and read it. I think it's very enriching, and the way it's written is very beautiful.
Thank you.
Also,
so much.
It really screams that you love, but also in a way that it's when you were little, was you kind of did you love Disney and stuff like that?
You know what? The irony is not really, and I also hate rom-coms. And people think,
no way,
really? I'm the same. I hate rom-coms, but
don't
I love
tell me
love.
Don't tell me screamos and
love, and I hate rom-coms. I love crime HD.
Hey, God.
Anything to do thrillers,
Yes.
homicide, death,
They're people
scariness.
Yes.
And I also love fantasies like Game of
Me too.
Thrones and things. Oh, yeah,
These people are
one and the
connecting.
same.
Oh
Yeah, literally,
my
I love
gosh.
this.
Well.
So the irony is that as a child, I was never this like love child. And the funny thing is, if you ask my mother, she would joke about the fact that as a little girl, I would swear, I never want to get married.
Wow.
I would never want a husband. Yuck. Who would ever want to get married?
Yeah.
Up until I was like 15, 16, when I started liking boys and then I got my first boyfriend. Up until then, I swore that I was like anti-marriage. I never wanted to be married. And I was that young girl that never imagined her wedding. And even now as an adult, like the thought of having a companion and life partner, like I've warmed to it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I could do this, providing I meet the right person. But I've never sat and been like, I want my wedding to be like X, Y, Z. But I just love the connection, I think. The connection to another human being on a different level.
So did you know like straight away that you wanted to write a book about like relationships, love, and you knew that straight away?
Yeah, not straight away, but when I started writing on Twitter and I started to like gauge that my writing is always the best when I was writing about love.
Yeah.
And it was always the best because I was actually passionate about what I was writing about. And I also realized that in this world, the one thing that ties all of us together is this want to be loved or our love to other people. And when I kind of deduced that, I was like, okay, I really want to write about love. But then I was going through this imposter syndrome phase because I remember like at the time I was with an ex of mine. I went to his family home and I was telling his sister like, oh yeah, I really want to write this book. I'm working on it, but I don't think I'm going to release it for like many years. And she was like, why? I said, because it's about like love and relationships. And I think based on how I received negative feedback at the beginning of like my Twitter journey, I was like, oh, people won't take me seriously because I'm not married. And people say, why is she writing about relationships?
Okay,
she's not like, she's not married. She's not, she's not with child and living this like societally correct relationship in her 30s, that they're just going to dismiss it. So I was like, okay, forget about it. And then I got offered the book deal and I was like, come and see God telling me. I was like, come and see God telling me you better just pattern up, and just go and share your book now and just write and just take yourself seriously. Dead. So when that happened, it was a woman by the name of Nancy Adamora, a Nigerian woman who works at HarperCollins, amazing. She'd seen my writing and she believed in me and she was like, you need to put out this book. I said, okay, let me do it. So I knew that love was going to be the thing once I started writing on Twitter and I realized, okay, I do love love, but I hadn't always known. In fact, if you ask like the young me putting out a book, yeah, right. And I hated English in school. I did not like it. So it's just funny how the world works. Yeah.
I don't know, I don't even know if we're allowed to say titles or anything of the book, but there was one particular, I'll probably go back to your publisher and ask if I'm allowed to even say this, but there was one caption and it was like, let me see. Okay, I'm just going to do one because I don't want to start.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I give you consent.
Okay. Missing someone who wasn't good for you doesn't make you weak. And then you go on to saying how some people beware of exes who want to stroke their ego. So going back to some people is just for an ego boost for them. When I tell you, I've never, where am I hearing that kind of information from? It is a good book, guys. Go check it out. And
that means
there's a lot of things you can apply to friendships. It's not just about like intimacy, relationships. Oh my God, what I love was how you talked about being an older sibling and how I'm saying too much. I hope the publisher doesn't mind, but we'll have a conversation about like having to be perfect. And like, honestly, I feel that so deeply. Like having to have, I felt like there's a lot of things I've not done in my life. Like I've not even smoked a cigarette. Because I feel like I always have to be a role model.
Yeah.
But also I don't have a what's the word I'm looking for? A motivation to smoke a cigarette. Like, you know when you get drunk, you're like, yeah, but if people are like, oh, if you smoked a cigarette, it might make you horny or might, I'm gonna sign me up, baby. But the pros aren't looking too nice. Anyways, but the perfection thing, I feel that a lot. I feel like I always have to go up my way. But like, talk to us about that, because that must have been hard not even having someone to go to about love or anything like that. You have to figure it by yourself.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I guess being the first child, or even in some African families, the first daughter, because sometimes it will go and skip the first child now because the first child is male. But the way you engage with parents, and I think like in psychology, they do say the first child is generally the people pleaser child because you're your parents' first baby, so everything's like a big deal. Like, oh, first steps, oh my god, they want to clap for everything and award everything, and everything's amazing. And so what happens then is that you see your relationship with the family is like almost not performance based, but like, oh yeah, like I need to do well, and they show me they love me by appreciating the fact that I do well. And my family like show me they love me whether I'm having a good day or bad day. But I did a lot of internalizing this belief that I had to be this like talented, strong, put together, stable person for my family all the time. And with having younger siblings, that's magnified because there's almost like this maternal relationship where you want to take care of them and you want to be there for them. And as a result, you do not want them to see you when you are having bad days, when you are feeling sad, when you are struggling, because you think, I need to be strong for them. So when they're struggling, they can come to me.
Definitely.
And I need to appear like I can handle everything. And I think it's almost like this a vicious cycle because you end up being highly reliable and always doing the best you can do and giving 110%. And as a result, people then see you as the reliable one. Then people come to you all the time. And then because you're reliable, you take on more. And then it's like just this circle of round and going round and round of like giving to other people. And it's funny you should mention the perfectionist thing because even when I finished writing the book, I sent it to Julia Denuga because she gave me a quote for the book, like the back cover. And she mentioned that she picked up on the same thing that you picked up on in regards to me and obviously like the and what she knows about me. But it's definitely something that I grapple with all the time. And I feel like I have to put my best face forward. And then when I'm sure you know, Vic, like when you're going through a tough time, you just handle that. You just gotta handle it. And because you think, if I crumble now, who's gonna, me, I'm the one that saves everyone. Who's gonna save me?
That's it, yeah. But do you feel like now, because is your sister the youngest?
She's the youngest, yeah.
So like everyone's like adults now. Do you feel like you can kind of confide in your siblings if you're going through something hard, but you still have to put a brave face on?
You can, but it never ends. It's like a mother, right? I do not have children, but one thing I know, even when I'm 50, as long as my mum is still walking this earth, I'm her baby.
Yeah.
And she'll always have this like, I need to take care of her.
Yeah.
And with my siblings, it's nuts because my brother is a married man. He is a married man. But to me, that's my baby bro.
Yeah.
I don't care a good 10 years, 20 years. You can pop out 3 babies. I don't care. You're still my little brother.
Yeah.
And so a part of me, it's become easier because it's like, okay, I see you guys. You're handling your stuff. Like I can step back a little bit. But at the same time, we have built this relationship that when things aren't going well, I am the first person they call.
Okay.
Before
I was going to ask
mum,
that
before
actually.
they call my dad, they will call me. If Tara need anything, call Toni. And so like that is never going to change. But in a way, as much as like, don't get me wrong, I've had my breakdowns at home. Oh, no one appreciates me. I do so much. No one cares. It's so tough for me. But if I had to change it, I wouldn't because I felt like when it comes to this order, God doesn't make mistakes. And I felt like my personality and me being the way I am, arguably it could be a result of me being the eldest, obviously. But I think it suits me being the eldest. And I love the fact that I know that my siblings always have somebody. And even like that person is me, yes, but I know that they always have somebody. And even when I should, and they laugh at me because they're like, Toni, you do this to yourself, you know. And I'm like, what do you mean? They say, you complain that you always do too much. No one appreciates you. And you're always going and positioning yourself to be like, oh, let me help you. Let me do this. Let me do that. And I'm like, no. And then I had to take a step back and be like, oh, low key. And Tara's like, you always say no one helps you, but whenever you have an issue, you never really tell anyone. You just deal with it yourself. And my best friend, bless her, she's always like, Toni, sometimes I worry that this is a one-way relationship. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, I'm always calling you for help. And you never call me for help. And I'm like, oh, is it that I don't need it, or is it I just deal with it? And I just feel like I deal with it because I've had to. So that is always.
But is it because I'm assuming you're the strong friend then?
Yeah, 100%.
So the other day I was thinking, like, do I even allow people to help me? And is that a bad thing? Because like I was talking to my therapist about it. I was like, I don't even think I even allow my friends to be friends.
I don't. And
yes, you do.
I try.
It's a good thing. I like it.
No, but the thing is, I try. It's like if a friend asks me, "Oh, like how are you doing?" It's like my automatic response is usually to be like, "I'm fine." But then I've tried to actively say like, you know what? Actually, this is what I'm going through. Like I've tried to do that because I realized that before I was very much closed off. Like I was just like, "Oh, I'm okay. Whatever I'm going through, I'll just deal with it, manage." But it's like I'm not even helping myself. I'm not unburdening myself. And not even in a bad way, but how can I continue to just hold it and bottle it all inside? Like, I need to let this out. And I need to allow my friends to be friends. It's like, if I can't tell you, who can I tell?
I love that line, allow your friends to be friends, because sometimes we can look at that dynamic and just look at it from our perspective, but in a way it does impact other people, because my like best friend and even my siblings have said like sometimes they query like what is their role in my life, and I think I never want them to feel like disposable. I never want them to feel like they don't add value, and I had to like assert to the people I love that like them just being in my life is the strength I need to just handle what I handle. So on one hand it's like, do I handle a lot on my own? Yes. But could I do that if these people did not exist in my life? Probably not. But it's something I'd also want to unlearn, because I'm thinking like even in relationships, I do not want my partner to feel like
she doesn't.
I don't
need me.
I don't need them for anything. And not to say like we should need our partners. I think we should want them, but I want them to feel like they have a role in my life beyond just being there. And I would never want them to feel like an accessory. So when you say like allowing friends to be friends, I have thought about that, and allowing partners to be partners. Like I've written so many times about not asking people for help, or people offering things and me saying no. I used to be that babe.
Wow,
now I'm trying to unlearn it. They'll be like, oh, I want to do. No, I'm fine. It's cool. No, now I have to force myself. Yes, so please, you want to? Okay, you want to take me here? Let's go. Do
you know what I
buy this? Come and buy it for me, please. I beg you.
Oh my days! I was saying this to my friend the other day. I'm not using my boyfriend's wallet enough. I'm being too nice.
You're being too nice.
No, I need to use your wallet. This is another source of income.
And does he offer and you say no?
He does, and I say no. And he's even said it to me. He's like, "Oh, I did offer," and you said, "I'm full. I need to start." It's a yes from now.
Hyper independent.
It's a yes from now. We have to say yes. Okay, so everyone keeps talking about icks. I realized what. So I know a few episodes ago we were talking about biscuit being the ick. No, guys, I found my real ick. It's not eating biscuits. The real ick is, you know, a guy, a boyfriend that's in our girl's business. And when I say this, so for example, me and Jazz are gisting. And Jazz's man says to me, "Oh, Vic, is your period? When's your period coming?" He says something that I've said to you on the phone.
Yeah.
Or he says something. No, that's not a good example. Or I'm trying to think of why. I'm not trying to bait up my life. This is a real life situation. Or Vic, how's your man? No. I need to find another example, but it's not coming to me.
Like a personal thing.
Like a personal.
So you've told Jazz personal information, and he says, "Oh, I heard you went to whatever the other day. Oh, I heard you took a pregnancy test the other day."
Perfect example.
What was the result of that? Okay,
I had that, and I said,
"Why the fuck?" This is not real, by the way, because Tony's looking at me with judgment.
No. It wasn't with Jasmine. It was someone else. And I said, hypothetical. And I said, why? I was like, okay, cool. You're gonna tell your man. That's cool.
But make sure your man has manners.
Key points. Your man needs to start looking elsewhere when we're talking. or maybe he might, he can add his 2 pence, but maybe at the end or quietly or fast.
Because say fast.
Why is your... Because I'll never forget when my friend's man asked me something about my personal life. And I said, why I was so uncomfortable. I was like, yeah, that's a massive ick. And then another thing is, if me and you are just gisting and we're talking about girl stuff, we're talking about stuff, and my man starts taking up a seat and cross leg, get out of here. And you're even adding to the gist.
Too funny.
No, but you're adding to the gist as in like
someone's
stuff.
MCM, you know?
No, but you're adding to the gist as in information I've told you. You'd be like, yeah, because remember when you told me that she's a bit...
Oh, God.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
That is my ick.
What are your icks, Tony?
What are my icks? Good question. I guess I don't want to just like give you the obvious ones because obviously like bad hygiene or people who are just like blatantly like rude and disrespectful. So let me try and pick like obscure ones. Okay, this is going to sound so bougie. I don't like misuse of words or like just ruining the English language. Like, you know, when people are just like, oh, let me think of an example of like...
This is a slide drag on the Black Girls Livin Podcast.
No.
We be misusing everything.
No. Like this is like a wild misuse. This is not like, because I make errors all the time. Sometimes I remember once I did a talk, it was really important. I meant to say psychologist and I said psychotherapist or something. And it was like it turned out to be this big thing because then everyone was like debating about.
Really?
Yeah. And it was like, oh, it was just literally like I used the wrong word.
Yeah.
So like naturally people do it. But and let me try and think like, okay.
So you know someone that's been mixing up words badly?
No, but just like they, okay, do you know what happens sometimes? I think sometimes like I'll meet people and based on my writing, they think that they can't be themselves and they have to sound extremely like intelligent. And so they'll be like using very long words in the wrong context.
So they might be like, Tony, so what have I hypothesized in the middle lines and the outer rhymes?
Okay, that gives me the ick. Because it's like, you're not even using it properly. You're using it as like a display of like faux intelligence. I don't like that. So, and then another one is... I'm so sorry if any of you are picky eaters, but extremely picky eaters. That gives me the dating ick. Like if I go on a date, it's like, oh, I can't, no, oh, what's that? Oh, no. I'm just like, bro, like, come on, are you 5? Like, you don't want to touch anything. Like, you just want straight, like, booger and chips. That's what you want. Anything else on the menu is like, no. And then what else gives me the ick? Oh my God, I cannot stand men with long fingernails.
I don't like it either. Do you know what I don't like as well? Why is it the pinky that's long?
Yeah, I don't get
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't...
Is it, I heard from someone, isn't that like a drug thing?
Oh, okay.
Because someone told me, someone told, not all the time, because sometimes I'm not, before someone has long pinky now, someone can't have long pinky. But basically, someone told me that sometimes...
Is it the crack? To
pick up cocaine as powder, sometimes one finger will be long so they can pick it up with ease. So I know sometimes people say like pimp finger, I don't know what that is, but then there's sometimes like a connotation with like casual drug use.
Oh my God.
But yeah, long fingernail, I can't stand long fingernails. And then I'm trying to think, what else gives me the ick? Yeah, I don't know, you know. Oh, okay. I don't like it when you're like hyper visible or visible on social media and men are all like, oh, do you know what? They know who you are. They pretend they don't know you. I don't like that. That gives me the ick. Like, just be honest.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, nah, you know what I don't like? Yeah, when I meet a girl and she's just like bare followers. I'm just like, why is that? If you didn't know who I was, you would not be saying that to a random girl.
You wouldn't.
Like, oh, you know, like them girls.
And what did they expect you? What did they expect you to say to that as well? Did I even want? Do I even want you? Do I even want you?
You just have to nod and be like, okay, enjoy the rest of your night. Okay, because it's like what? But it's like negging, isn't it?
Yeah.
They say something negative in the hopes you're like, oh no, but why? Oh no, I'm so no. When really it's like, why? That's what I hate. So to summarize, negging. So in any form, not just with social media, but when someone is trying to say something that is insulting or with some underlying nasty malicious vibe in the hope that like they can gain some kind of like interest from you, or you like yearn for their validation. I hate that. I hate that because it makes you look dumb. It never works with me because I'll just be like, look at this fool. And then I just walk off. But I hate that. I hate men who like, the negging thing and making you feel like bad.
Yeah.
As like reverse psychology.
Yeah. One of my friends is hypervisible, and she finds it hard dating in the industry because men will be like, oh, you're fine. I'm sure you've heard this bare times before, or I'm sure you got bare guys or DMs. And it's like, if you're moving to her, what kind of rubbish is this?
Do you know what's so funny about the DM thing? I think when you're hypervisible, it's the opposite.
Yeah. Because they all think the same things. It's almost like they've defeated themselves before they've even tried.
And also they're a bit more shook, I think, because they are like, oh, in their mind, they try and rationalize it, and they're like, oh, this person has lots of followers, or this person has blue tick, or this person has this. They probably want XYZ, or they probably talk to this person and that person, and they're not even thinking necessarily about you having other DMs, but they're thinking about what comes with having a relationship with you before they've even but it's not necessarily a bad thing because it filters out who's confident enough to be with a woman who is in that kind of industry. But I'm curious, what are your icks? I'm curious.
Yeah, what's yours, Jazz? Mine is literally, it was the men that are a bit too in a women's business. When I remembered that was my ick, I'm telling you guys, that is the worst thing. I even have to talk to my boyfriend. I'll be like, and I have to really say, are you in a women's business like that? Like, I had to really think, I was like, no, he's really good. Like, even if I tell him stuff, he'll look around and pretend that he doesn't know what the hell we're talking about. Good. Because why are you taking up a chair? This guy pulled up, I'll never forget this. He pulled up, I said,
no way.
He pulled up,
to speak about your business.
This man pulled up a chair, I said, because there wasn't chairs available. Went to
go
go find.
He did a whole Wendy Williams, a whole Oprah.
I was thinking to myself, is this guy gonna go and find a game to go and play or what? Like,
and do you know what? People like that kind of scare me, like men or women, because if the information has nothing to do with you, the fact you want to know so badly makes me think you go and gossip now. Yeah. The information won't stay with you because if you're that invested in other people's business, why?
But do you know what it is? I think it's because some couples see themselves, and
it's like one.
I get it, but also no. Also no.
I think it's about manners. There might be a time where you might be like, oh, my friend's going through this. You might not give the full details, but you might just say, oh, you know, it's that. But you also need to trust that your partner is not then going to be like
chatty-patty.
Even, do you know what I would even be concerned about? Even if like the following week you're going to be like, oh, so did your friend get that sorted out? I'm going to be like, why are you
why are you invested?
Why are you invested now? I'll be like, oh, that's a bit, that makes me uncomfortable. But sorry, my icks, I think, okay, I'm going to sound so shallow, but if they're wearing trainers that are all one colour but they're bright, like if they have all red trainers.
Oh, okay. That's very specific. That's very specific. But you know what? I get with that. I get with that because if I like was meeting a guy on a date and he had like bright neon trainers, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. Yeah. All right.
Or like white jeans. Or
somebody can't wear white jeans.
You know what? No, I feel like on women, white jeans.
Yeah.
On men, they could be hit or miss.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be a good dresser to make them work.
The Congolese men are pulling it off. The Congolese uncles are doing the thing. No one's agreeing with it.
I told her she's like scratching her head. Like, okay.
So when it's an all-white party, what's your man wearing?
It's all white party. You blending.
Yeah, because everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it then. But if you're like going on a date and you've come on this date with white jeans.
It's quite risky. I'm not gonna lie, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Especially if you're eating. That is very risky. That's risky.
And I think a final one, it's so shallow. But if I see, like when I see men on treadmills in the gym, I'm sorry.
Jasmine.
I'm sorry. I know.
Somebody can't be healthy anymore.
I know. I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong.
No, but I like the ownership of that though. Because it's like, I do not like this, but I also know this is somewhat irrational. Yeah. And I will take ownership.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know. I just don't like seeing it. And equally, when I'm on the elliptical as well, and there's a man next to me on it, I just don't like it.
Though? The ones that be doing the cardio, they have the best abs though.
They do.
Because they do. The body fat index is low.
But I just don't want to see you working out. I think.
I just want to see the end result.
I'm very shocked.
I don't want to see you working. I just want to see the end result.
I'm sorry.
Did you guys see on the news? What's the woman from the Real? Young Jeezy's.
Jenny May.
Is that name called Jenny? Jenny May.
Yeah, I think so.
She's now pregnant with Young Jeezy.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking about the fact that with her first relationship that ended because he wanted kids and she didn't. And it just reminded me when I was about, well, up until the age of like 20 or 18-ish, I used to not want to have kids. I even forgot this about myself.
Really?
Yeah. And it was because of how my upbringing was. Because I used to basically take care of my brothers when mum would go to work, and my dad would go to work as well. I've only got brothers, so I'd clean. I was like, yeah, oldest as well. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
So I used to cook, clean, pick them up from school.
Wow.
It was a lot. And it was also a lot of sacrifice. So I know it sounds tiny, but it was like I couldn't watch when the sky went. Okay, cool. The sky went. It's peak. I couldn't watch my show. I couldn't watch the music videos. We had to watch Tiny Pop. We had to, like, it was everything was my, and I don't resent my brothers for it or nothing like that because they can't help that they're in the order they were born in. But even like little things of like, oh, I was listening to No Shade, and they said Georgette was on there, and she said that, again, another thing I completely forgot my dad used to do. Go and stand in the kitchen and watch your mum cook. Go and stand in the kitchen. My dad used to always go and stand in the kitchen. I'll be watching TV with my brothers. Sorry, oh yeah, get up, go and stand in the kitchen.
Well, your brother stands in the kitchen to watch mum
Well,
cook.
standing where? And I remember saying to my mum, I don't want to have kids. Like I really don't want to I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. But it was honestly until I met my boyfriend, I was like, oh no, I really do want to have kids. And I think that's probably what happened with her. Well, actually, I don't know. She probably come from a Nigerian household, but I think it's very possible for people to change their minds because of circumstances and who they're with as well.
Yeah.
Like, because I saw a lot of people being like, how can she change her mind? That's such a big thing to change her mind about. But I was like, it made me think about what I went through. Obviously, it's not the same because I'm not married or anything. I don't have a child. But it just really made me think about that.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because I actually know someone who is expecting a baby, and he swore that he would, now married as well, swore that he would never have a child, and now he's doing up baby registry, really, really happy about it. And I was talking to like a mutual friend about the right person aligning with the right timing. And sometimes you could be so sure of something, and then when you meet a certain person and you're at a certain point in your life where you've gone through certain periods of growth, your whole perspective shifts. And that's why sometimes, like when I was younger, I used to be a never person. I was very black and white. And now I am a never say never, shades of grey person. A lot more than I used to be, because I realized, like, even with me, there are things I was so sure that I was anti, or things I wouldn't do, or things I didn't like. And now I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm willing to do this, or I've done this, or I've seen other people do it. And I'm like, okay, I respect that. I understand that. You just never know.
Do you know when you were saying that? I was like, what kind of things do I have with that?
Is there anything that you were like, I never...
No, do you know when I was young? I didn't understand when people were sucking cock.
I love where you just said it so direct. Oh my God.
It's so
Not
true.
even like,
I was like, that's where men wee. I was so confused.
It's true. We all said it. Even guys. No. Like,
really, man?
Yeah,
Men were even worse back then.
What was that?
Wasn't it?
They used to say bowcat. Do you remember they used to say bowcat and stuff?
And now people are eating bonbons. They've gone from I'll never touch the front to eating the back. So anyway, interesting. But yeah, that's a great example though, because it's like when you're young, you have certain beliefs, and you're like, oh yeah, no, this is bad, I'll never do it. Then you grow up and you're like, Like, for example, I went to a Catholic school. So when I was like 11, 12, 13, I was like, oh my God, abortion's so bad. Why would you? Abortion's so wrong. And then I became an adult, like 18, 19, 20. I was like, wait, no, it's actually, there's no issue. But sometimes you just have to grow, and then you realize, okay, I understand.
Do you think sometimes in life there's no room to change or grow? Because sometimes it's like, you used to think this way, this is you. I don't even mean this as in you're once racist once upon a time, but I just mean like
minus the racist.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you used to think that used to be a bit prudish, and now you've grown up because you've grown up and you've realized life. You've experienced life. You've seen different things, but sometimes people box you like, oh, but you used to be mad prudish, or like it's like it's so there's no room sometimes to change your way of thinking sometimes.
Yeah, I do agree. And I think that is heightened, particularly with social media. So like, for example, when I was younger, I was definitely way more prudish, way more judgmental, way more black and white. And I grew up and I became way more liberal, way more understanding, way more patient. But one thing that helped me is that at the point that I was who I was as a younger person, I was not on social media like that, sharing my worldly views. But in this day and age where so many people are online and so many people are sharing their perspectives, it does feel like you're not given the grace and the compassion to change, because people want to hold you to this impression that they have built in their heads of you. They've put you in a box in their head based on maybe things you've done or said, and there is no room to escape said box. But it's unfair because it works both ways. Because if you don't give people the grace, they won't give you the grace either. And one thing I do always say is that we are forever growing, we're forever learning. And I mentioned this in my book because when I was writing my book, I said, okay, Toni, you're writing it now at age that I was 31. I'm 32 now. I was writing it when I was 31, 30. You're 30, 31 now. This is what you believe right now. Based on how much your perspective has changed throughout your life, you may read this book when you're 40 or 50 and be like, I don't know about this chapter, you know? I don't know about it.
But that's okay because it served a purpose at the time.
Yeah,
and also, you don't know who is connecting with that. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And maybe you come out another book at 40 and elaborate more on your...
Over the last, however many years, I've come to understand that this.
But then I touched on that in the book, like we're forever growing and learning, because I think one thing people need to understand is that the version of you that you know now literally exists for a moment in time, and it's right now. It is literally right now. And the person you are tomorrow will be different. Like even on a intrinsic DNA level, you like as far as like your cells and the rate of aging, like you will be different tomorrow. Who I was 10 minutes ago talking about this podcast is very different from who I am going to be in the next 10 minutes. And I think people just need to remember that. And they also need to remember that age can often, not always, unfortunately, but it can often bring wisdom through observation, wisdom through experience. And sometimes we can see people and we might not agree with their beliefs and agree with their perspectives and what they're doing. But then we must also understand, okay, that this presents an opportunity to maybe help them and educate them, or at least share our perspective in the hope that that may alter their growth in some way that you might deem beneficial for the greater good of society. But yeah, sometimes the world can be really, really harsh. The world can be really harsh. And that's why, like, when people are online, for example, trolling people left, right, center for things they did years ago, I might read it. I'll say, this is really bad. This is bad. In my mind, I'm thinking this is disgusting. Me, I was not writing that at that age. But at the same time, I also won't engage in public lambasting because I'll still think, come now.
Me too, I had my own.
Like, people change. This person, just because it was bad doesn't mean it's impossible for them to have changed. What I need to be asking myself is, did they demonstrate behaviors that reflect this recently?
Recently. Yeah.
And if they didn't, let me try and be compassionate. Me, I'll still hate what you wrote. But I'll think, let me show them grace.
Do you know what? Sorry, I'm
people
peeking
change.
again. Justin Trudeau. Is that his name? The Canadian president. How many blackface have you done?
But there's also fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, fool me three. There's also like levels. Like
there's levels.
You do something, you say something once.
But it's the fact he said, I don't know how many pictures they're going to
he
put.
won.
That
Can you
means he was doing
imagine? No.
blackface every weekend.
He wasn't lying. At least he told the truth in that.
And also,
how many more's coming?
There's also context because there's levels.
Yeah.
So, like, someone could do something awful, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I've changed. But if it's awful, like, come now. You have to, justice needs to be served.
Yeah.
But then context in regards to, like, okay, when you were doing these things, were you 15 or were you 25?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you 12 or were you 32?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, I could give more grace if someone is like very, very young. But if they're doing mad things as an adult,
you do look at them differently.
You do look at them differently. Yeah.
But Justin, damn, what was going on?
Yeah, no. That's very wild.
My goodness.
Very wild.
And he's even smiling in the photos. What did black people do to you? God damn it. Let's talk about Highlife.
Oh, yeah.
You guys must have seen on Channel 4, launched on the day of, what was it called again?
Black to Front.
Yeah.
Black to Front. Yes. Highlife is a reality TV show following successful Nigerians and Ghanaians. Am I right in Ghanaians?
Nigerians and Ghanaians, and then Camille, who is Jamaican Cuban, my brother's wife.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's Cuban as well.
Jamaican and Cuban, yeah.
So, yes, it's a really amazing seeing different types of people, seeing what they go through. And Tony's on there. We were briefly introduced to you on episode, was it 3?
Episode 3.
Yeah. Episode 3. It was really good because we saw you being like a really lovely sister-in-law to, what's her name again?
Camille.
And it was really nice because you're watching it. Like, the way I watched it, I was like, pretend you don't know who Toni is. Like, pretend you don't. And I was like, oh my God, imagine having a sister-in-law like that. That's so cute. And like the way like you were speaking, like just speaking life into her, like the way even at the table, I could see you being like the eldest daughter, like that vibe. It was really cute, man. Also, your family, very beautiful and very encouraging. Wow.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, your family are like very, very lovely and welcoming. Camille was very, very lucky.
She's a gorgeous girl. Everything was just making sense. Like when I was watching it, I was like, I don't want to put goals on people because it's too much pressure, but damn it.
Yeah, no, we're lucky as well because Camille has an amazing family. Like you don't get to see loads of her family on there, but you've seen her mum briefly.
Oh, her mum's
and
so
honestly, like
lovely.
her parents are amazing. Her stepdad is amazing. Her siblings are so warm and welcoming. Like, and my mum and I always joke. We say like we could have never like if we had to pick a woman for him, we couldn't have picked a better woman. She's that amazing, and I'm really touched that people are loving it and loving my family. One thing I always do say because people the other day I was at a dinner party and someone asked, "Oh, what's the best thing about being you?" And whenever I think about my life and like the happiest parts of my life or my favorite thing about my life, it always goes back to my family. I don't get it twisted. We've dealt with Wahala in the past. We still deal with Wahala. It's not always like sugar and spice and everything nice. Like sometimes like it's arms out. But I think one thing I love about my family is that like nothing is off limits when it comes to discussion. We discuss everything. And my parents do not behave as if they're reflections of perfection. And they are willing to listen and learn from us. And I really, really appreciate that because when they do mess up, because they're not perfect, we can be like, yo, mum, dad, you shouldn't have said this, she shouldn't have done this. But it's nice to be able to share something like Highlife with them.
No, it's really good. Like even like I get the whole perfection thing because you must be seeing people be like, oh my God, my family's goals. And we also have our own too. But like, even your dad saying, I wrote a letter to you, and you kind of elaborated that more in your book about where that whole letter thing came from. So guys, go buy the book. But it really made me think, okay, so of course, there's a difference between everyone having their issues, but there's also a difference in dealing with it as well.
Yeah.
So it seems like your parents are very much like, okay, we really care about our kids' feelings. Because I don't know, I don't see not to compare, sorry, Dad, but I don't see him writing books. But I can't lie, my parents, I've seen the changes in them. I see them taking more of an effort to like tell me they love me and stuff. And even like huggings, and I'm like, they never used to. We weren't really a hugging family when I was younger. I'm quite awkward with hugs. So when my parents hug me, I'm like, why are you doing this? Like now it's awkward. Like, but now I'm gonna do it because life is too short. Yeah, but yeah, watching that really made me think, okay, let me take on some of these learnings for when I have my own family.
I'm glad I could do that because part of the reason why I wanted to get involved in Highlife was exactly that because it was like, if there's one thing I'm going to get out of the show, I want it to be the opportunity to like change the narrative and change perspective and show people that there are so many different sides. Like Black people are not monolithic. There are so many different sides to the Black family, to Black love as well. Like I remember saying to like Tommy and Camille, like this is a fantastic opportunity for you to show young married couples because there's a lot of Black couples,
absolutely.
But I don't know what's happening, but people there's a lot of like
I wanted to ask your opinion on this actually.
Surrounding marriage.
We'll get there.
And it's like seeing a Black man embrace marriage, love marriage, want to be married.
Yes.
Tommy.
Yeah.
You have a duty to show this because this is you. You're living this.
Yeah.
And people need to see that it exists. And I wanted women to see that someone like my brother exists. And it also helps me because I think, when my brother is doing a proposal after 1 year and my brother is like 10 toes in, why now should I like settle for someone who wants to like play me around or doesn't want to commit to like a lifelong companionship if that's what I want.
The way they talk about each other as well, lovely. Lovely to see that on screen. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. My gosh. So how was the filming process?
The filming process was cool. It was intense at times because like just letting people into your life on such an intimate level. For me, I was even scared about me because it's like, I've been on Twitter, I've been trolled, I've been this, I've been that. It's like, say what you want to say, it's okay. But again, me being protective, I was like, oh, my parents, I don't want anything to say anything bad about them. I don't want anything to say anyone say anything bad about my siblings. Like I was just really, really worried about that. So that was quite odd. And then I guess it was kind of awkward because you're like doing normal things, and then there's a camera like right there. So you have to just kind of ease yourself into it. After about 15, 20 minutes, you forget.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, sometimes you look at the camera and you're like, shit.
you definitely forget, because there were moments like looking back at the show when I watched it, I was like, oh my God, I even forget I said certain things.
Yeah.
Or my brother said certain things, or just being vulnerable because you forget the cameras are there. But I really enjoyed the fact that I was able to like meet the other cast members. There were some that I knew already, so like Irene and I, friends, and I've worked with Benicia before. But I never, I'd known Cuppy, never met her, so it was nice to meet her. Nice to meet Kid, and I'd known of Chifa, never met him.
Yeah.
So it was nice to meet him. But yeah, like it was intense sometimes. Like filming for hours in the day, and it's crazy because I filmed so much, and everyone filmed so much, but they only use such a small fraction.
I need a full episode on you.
I don't know what's going on. I filmed like there was like some scenes that have been like dropped out, but I think it's because in Channel 4's defense, where it's like docuality, so there's documentary elements, but it's reality as well at the end of the day. They want storylines, and storylines that they assume people like.
They're assuming wrong. I'm so sorry. You're assuming. I want to see Toni. I want to see her talking. I want a full day. Talk me through the skincare, sis. Do that. I want that. Because, for example, you're showing me Cuppy and Kid. I don't care. Like, I love them individually. You're showing me the wrong thing.
You know what? There is so much more to Cuppy and so much more to Kid than their than their fallout. I agree.
The thing is, I think they want to show. I could be wrong, but I think they want to show Cuppy as like this humble, rich. No, show me the pink Lamborghini. Show me her dad.
Show me the flex.
Show me her sister, Mr. Easy. I want to see everything. Show me it all. That's what we're coming for, the high life. Don't show me. Oh, Cuppy is now all humbled and saying, oh, you know. This isn't what I came here to see.
This is what I signed up for.
Like, I feel like, and because of that, because of their riff is happening, it's taking more. I could be wrong because more episodes to come, but it's taking more of the story. Like, I want to see more of you. I want to see, even with your brother and his missus. Like, I was like, so I'm not going to see all the wedding. Now you've gone back to Kid and Cuppy. And she's thrown what size his face.
I do wish it was more episodes, so we could have done some storylines more justice. Like, for example, like Irene's storyline is so important.
Oh yeah.
And Irene shot a lot that wasn't included as far as like meetings with doctors and discussions and things like that. And yeah, I would have loved to show like my relationship with my mum on another level, and my relationship with my dad, and also to see more of that like sibling relationship I have with them. But again, I guess in my mind, what I love watching when I watch TV is like meaningful, deep content. But then TV is entertainment for a lot of people, and they want to see like
mess often,
action. Yeah. They want to see they want to see excitement. They want to see weddings. They want to see fallouts. They want to see this. They want to see that. So I guess like storylines will probably prioritize according to that. But I think maybe if we did a season that was a little longer, then we could have had, because I think there's definitely a place for like the Cuppy and Kid storyline. I think like that's like friendship fallouts are important to see, but I would have loved to see a bit more about other, like for example, like Chifa. There's I don't know if they're showing this in episode 4, so I won't say, but there's stuff about him, personal things about him that I think are really, really important that people haven't had the opportunity to see. But again, it's like everything is kind of like trial and error. So season 1, hopefully Channel 4 will read tweets and see, okay.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you think, is there season 2 on the cards?
Is there a season 2? I think it's just dependent on like budget really, and whether like who wants to pick it up. Would I get involved in a season 2? Yeah, like I'd be happy as my when I say me, I mean my family.
Yeah.
So as long as they're doing it, cool. And I think it's again important to keep showing like the way the family works, and just showing Black families on TV. But whether there's a season 2, I don't know. I guess we have to wait and see.
Channel 4, shine your eyes.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But it was definitely an interesting process.
You mentioned about like not knowing what's going on in the dating scene. We were just talking about this on the podcast we were on before, MILF and Honey, about like the dating scene in the UK, particularly in London, and how poor it is. Why? Do you have any theories?
Do I have any theories? I think there are just a lot of people who are scared of being hurt. Well, that's all it is. I think ultimately it's just a lot of very frightened people, and everyone is too scared to admit that they're scared. And so that manifests in different ways. That manifests in, I don't need anybody. That manifests in, oh, girls are only good for XYZ. That manifests in, all men are trash. That manifests in different ways, right? And I think London in particular is probably quite heightened because although there are lots and lots and lots of people in this city, it's very condensed and everyone is on top of each other in the sense that, like, especially in the Black community, it's almost like, 6 degrees of separation. It's like 2 degrees of separation, 100%, right? And then I think that also adds a bit of scare to the situation, because in everyone's mind, they're thinking, this person knows this person and I want to date this person, but they're also linked to this person. And what would this person say? And I think there's a lot of people worrying about external perception when it comes to dating. Like, what will my boy say? What would this girl say? And this person knows this person. Are they friends? And I think that doesn't help either. And then I also think that unfortunately, with 50% of marriages ending in divorce, roughly 50%, there are a lot of people that have not seen a happy home. And even in the marriages that did not end in divorce, people have grown up in 2-parent households where they hated each other or they barely interacted. There was barely any affection. And so what is happening is that, not to blame parents, but like parents do have a role to a degree, is that people have grown up seeing certain types of relationships that maybe weren't the most positive. And they have said, if this is what marriage is, I don't want it. Or, if this could happen, if divorce can happen, I don't want it. And like, there's a book I've read called Attached. And it's, who wrote it again? I always forget authors' names, which is terrible. I forgot the author's name. It's a man by the, sorry, it's called Attached. But I think there's one attached. So if you Google it, you'll find it. And it's basically about attachment theory and how our adult relationships are a product of our childhood caregiver relationships. And it breaks down like the different attachment styles. So secure attachment being the secure one that everyone should want to aim towards. Then you have anxious and you have avoidant/dismissive. So you have the people who are like, anxious, like, I really want love. Oh, I want someone. Why doesn't he want me? Why doesn't she want me? Love, love, love. Oh my God, I'm going to die alone. I'm so scared. And then you have the people who are avoidant, dismissive, who are like, I don't need anyone. I'm independent. F-love, da-da-da, whatever. It is what it is. And they don't want to embrace feelings. And the majority of people in the world are not secure. That is the fact.
Yeah.
The majority of people are avoidant or anxious. And then that feeds into how we navigate relationships. And it becomes a vicious cycle, because as an anxious or an avoidant person, for example, you get into a relationship and maybe even you get into a relationship with someone who is more secure than anything else. But because of the way you mishandle the relationship, because of your own childhood,
you turn them into an anxious person.
Exactly. And so and the dating, one thing that's in the book, that is outlined in the book, and I thought, oh my God, this is so true. I've never thought about this before. It was basically about dating being rough, because in the dating scene, the majority of people are avoidant. And the reason why is because avoidance avoid relationships. So they are perpetually single. So when it comes to looking for someone to date, a lot of the secure people, they're in relationships. And even the anxious people, a lot of them are in relationships because they want love so desperately. And so they'll get with other anxious people or other secure people, or maybe even avoidant, dismissive people sometimes. But they tend to be they're the serial relationshipers, right? But then the people left, majority of people in the dating pool are the avoidant, dismissive. I've been hurt. I do not want to be hurt again. I do not want to let any other people in. So we have a lot to tackle. But I think the first step is just like admitting that you want love. I think that's the first step. I think a lot of men and women need to admit that actually I want to find someone I can share my life with, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. And being willing to reciprocate energy. I think sadly, what I've come to like learn is that there are a lot of people that want this. It's not even give and take. It's a lot of take. I need someone who can do this. Me, or I need someone who can do a lot. But best believe I'm going to give a lot, because I always give 110%. But there are a lot of people that think that being in a relationship is not a mutually beneficial thing. That they are the prize and they're the prize alone. Me, I'm the prize, but why am I dating a man that's not also a prized man, right? So I think, it's a jungle out here. I ain't gonna lie. The streets is mad. The streets is wild.
What's it like being single? Because I know you were saying it on your stories the other day, like you feel like you've grown a lot. Like, talk about that.
Well, see, it depends on everyone's situation is different, and it depends the reason for being single. And I'm not going to pretend like I have struggled with relationships, because I have not, in the sense that I've never felt like, oh, I'm really struggling to find someone or meet people. Like I haven't. I've been it's been the opposite, actually. So this year I'm single, but I'm actively single, celibate by choice. I haven't been on a single day.
She said the DMs are loading.
Celibate by choice, not dating, not seeing anyone, not trying to engage in any kind of romantic anything with anyone. And I actually made that decision because I have such a long relationship history as far as years. So I was in a relationship for 2 years from the ages of 16 to 18. Then 4 years from 18 to 21. Then almost 7 years on and off. So 6.5 years on and off from like 23 to like 30. Then 1 year at like 31. So I said, I need rest.
Yeah, you need a break. Yeah.
I need a break. Like I had like a 2-year break in between, but it wasn't enough. And so I was in a relationship like last year and I ended that. He was lovely. And this is why I say I'm quite blessed, because like that relationship was good. The one I was in before that was quite long. Like we're still good friends. Like everything is cool. But I said to myself, I needed to focus on me. I wanted to be selfish without feeling guilty. And I think in relationships, people think that you do not compromise at all. No, you don't compromise on your self-value and your self-worth and your self-beliefs, but you definitely compromise when it comes to time management.
Yeah.
You compromise when it comes to making joint decisions. And for me, I was like, okay, career's going well. Life is feeling lit. For once in my life, I don't want to have to compromise. I want to be so selfish. So I was like, it's 2021. I'm going to be single and actively single, like not talking to anyone, no, nothing, and just focus on me. And it literally 2021 has been such an amazing year for me. Moved into like my first apartment. Obviously, I'm on the show. My book is coming out. And I just wanted to focus all my energy on my career. But yeah, I guess, again, like I say this with the acknowledgement that I'm not going to pretend that my relationship and dating experiences have been as terrible as, say, like people I know or friends that I've had. Because I've had friends who like hate being single because they're often single and they talk to people and it blows up in their face and it's really horrible. And I've had like a really toxic relationship when I was in university. But for the most part, I've had quite pleasant experiences and I've been quite lucky in that sense. So
the fact that we have to say that we've been lucky to...
I know.
It's mad, isn't it? Like, even when you said that you're friends with your exes, I was like, right, man, that's a rarity. Lucky. But like, why is that lucky? It's because like a lot of us have experienced toxic relationships.
Yeah.
It's like you can't escape it. It's like even when your friends talk to you, oh, they've seen someone and they say, oh, and you're thinking, I don't know if you should be behaving like that. It's just like, it's everywhere.
Everywhere. And that's part of the reason why I also wrote the book, because sadly, there are a lot of toxic people everywhere. And sometimes we won't always avoid them, but there are certain steps we can take to like, to safeguard ourselves to the best of our capability. And don't get me wrong, you can meet someone and think, oh, they're nice as pie, but I wouldn't melt. And then you commit to them and they completely change. Like that happens. And I've definitely been through that. But I think as women in particular, like we need to stop approaching relationships with this view that we need to like audition for the, especially as like heterosexual women, audition for like men's affection and adoration. Because when we approach relationships like that, then they become very unbalanced because it's us doing majority of the giving. And when that happens, you're in this dynamic where the other person could take full advantage of you. And it's not helpful and it does you a disservice. So I think it's really, really important for us as women to understand that when we go into relationships, we must consider what that man is bringing to the table as far as like how he treats other people. Is he respectful towards people that can do nothing for him? How does he speak about other women? Does he listen to you? Like in my book, I write about like looking out for green flags more than necessarily like focusing on the red ones. Because when we focus on the red ones, we go into this like trauma response of like danger. Oh my God, let me just look. I just see badness everywhere. Everyone's bad. But it's really like, no, let me look for the guy that I feel like is good, who is behaving in a way that I think is reflective of the kind of person I want to be with. Now, that doesn't mean they're necessarily perfect, but at least someone who compliments you. But then also, like, I think men and women who are somewhat toxic in relationships, if you will, without overusing that word, they also have a responsibility, because it's not every day put the onus on someone else to safeguard themselves. Sometimes, like, recognize that I am failing when I enter relationships in this way because of this reason. What can I do to target that and combat that? And one thing I love about what you said, Vic, is you talked about therapy. And I remember you tweeted the other day, I believe, about therapy being so good, and you're so glad you started. And I love that. And while therapy is a luxury because it's not cheap, I think it's so important for young people to take an active effort at bettering themselves and understanding the areas they struggle in as much as they can before and while being in a relationship. Like, and that's one thing they haven't shown on the show, for example, is like Tommy and Camille, my brother and his wife, they went to premarital counselling.
Oh, we need to see that.
Wow.
They didn't show that. That was recorded, but for whatever reason, it was not included. But things like that, it's like, even when it's good, still go.
Yeah.
Still try and find out why you are the way you are, why the other person is the way they are, and how you can work in a relationship and have a peaceful union. But yeah, it's sad that we make out like it's, oh yeah, we're so lucky to have had good experiences, because a lot of people have had negative experience.
Yeah.
But it's because a lot of people are just going into relationships scared, and no one wants to fully like give 110%, because it's like, oh, I'm so scared. What if this? What if that? Everyone's thinking about the what ifs. And one thing I like to do in relationships, like me, innocent until proven guilty. Even if I've heard this, or he's
You're
this,
good,
or you're a bad demon, this. Nah, innocent. Do you know why? Because it's like, if I approach relationships guilty until proving innocent, then
guilty until I thought you meant innocent until you see more. Sorry, I got it confused.
Okay. So innocent until or unless proven guilty, not until unless. Because my thing is, like, we talked about grace and compassion, like giving people the opportunity to present themselves to me.
Oh, absolutely.
And for me to make solid judgments about them, and not fretting about things that are out of my control. Like, for example, but I'm not like the most anxious partner, to be fair, but I know people who are like, oh no, he's out. What if this? What if this? What if this? What if this? What if? You can't. These things you can't prove. Yeah, you can't prove who's in his DMs. You can't prove whether he's talking to X, Y. You can't prove this. So unless information lands on your lap, or you see something, or you feel, or you are made to feel uncomfortable, like rest. Just enjoy. Learn to enjoy relationships.
With your exes, have they been good guys or have they been bad guys? And when I say bad, not cheating, but like maybe cheating, but like the kind of like the cool guy,
okay, we were talking about bad or cool.
How do I describe this guy? But like, not those guys that it's like you're in a function, everyone knows his name.
I definitely, I definitely have one of those exes. But I guess one thing that probably made our relationship easier to deal with is the transition to him being a cool guy or the guy happened while I was with him.
Okay.
So it's not like, I'm doing you're the hot boy on campus, and then I meet you like that. Even if I do meet you, me too, I'm a hot girl.
Exactly.
Hot girl, you know what I mean? And even if I do meet someone who's doing really well, who's really well known, that doesn't really bother me, because equally, I know people see me and they're like, oh my God, she's too hyper visible. I don't like that. And I'm like, I want to give someone the grace that I wish people gave me. So I do have an ex that is definitely like that. Like he's in the mix. He's in the mix. A lot of people know him. He has one of those jobs that call for it, knows a lot of celebrities, but again, like that doesn't really bother me. And even at the height of it, I wasn't really like bothered, because my main thing is that all that stuff is smoke and mirrors, really. At the end of the day, how are you with me and your family? Like your brothers, your sisters, like your immediate family. That's all smoke and mirrors. Yeah. And the people that see you and love you because you're doing this, you're doing that, they don't know you. I know you. I've seen you through the come up. I've seen you at your best, at your worst. I know you for who you are. And even if I wasn't there for the come up, there's a different dynamic when you're in a relationship with someone because you know them for who they truly are on a deeper level. So you have to learn to separate the smoke and mirrors. And one thing I've always said, I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, I hate, guys that are too friendly. I don't like guys that are too pretty. Me, please, or love my man, like him.
Wow.
My thing is this, yeah. Why should I be with a man that no women wants, right? Why should I be
and not
with
just
a
that,
man that
nobody likes?
I want to see how you react when you're getting all the attention in the world.
Because
how are you behaving?
One thing I've always said is you cannot control who is trying to get with your partner and talk to your partner. And even that, you shouldn't even care about that. What you should care about is how your partner responds to it. So let 1 million women slide in your DMs. My issue is if you reply to that one, right?
Yeah.
I don't. So for me, it's like, I want to be with a guy that women see and think, I want a man like that. I want to be with someone that is alluring to other people because it's a reflection of them as like maybe they're a nice person, maybe they're a lovely person, maybe they're an ambitious person, whatever it is. I don't want to be with someone that nobody likes. That's a reflection.
And when I say nobody likes, I mean as in nobody wants to be around, as in when they come, people are like, oh. But like, I mean, when it's home time, your man's doing meet and greet, as in like he's like hugging up people, being like, he's greeting all the girls, like giving everybody a hug. Like, are you fucking teddy bear? Like, why is that your job? It's time to go home. That's stinky to me. What the fuck?
I saw someone on Twitter called them the town hugger.
Oh my God.
Why? Is everybody queuing up?
You know what? There's with that said, obviously context, because there's still boundaries. And you don't want to be with a guy that's like, oh, just everyone gets a kiss on the cheek, everyone gets a long, warm hug. There are still boundaries. So you behave in a way that doesn't make your partner feel uncomfortable. And if your partner is feeling uncomfortable, then you've crossed a boundary that you obviously need to discuss, right? But providing I don't feel uncomfortable, I'm cool. And I want a lot of people to like you. And I've never, some people that they like a mean guy. I get that. I totally get that. But I don't want to be with the guy that people think he's standoff. I want to be with the guy that people talk about him. They're like, oh, he's so nice.
Yeah,
he's so nice. He's so lovely. I really like him. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's important to me. But it's like you said, how he reacts to all that. I don't care about everyone else, but how do you handle that? Do you get lost in the sauce? Or do you maintain your respect for me?
It seems like even though you're so happy visible and you have like so much going around, I still feel like you have that core value of it's me and you. And that's how it works. And like, because I think sometimes a lot of people have this perception of, but what does it look like on the outside world? How do we look like together in people's faces? What do people think? Does our picture go viral? We're going to be on Bella Niger? Like, it feels to me like the way you think about everything is a bit more intra-personal. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, how is it affecting my well-being rather than how it is on the outside? And how is that? Because it must be quite hard even doing anything because people must be thinking, people have an opinion on everything you do. How is that?
Literally. I think what really helps me is having such a strong core network and such a supportive family because like it sounds harsh, but if you're not them, I don't care. Literally, I don't care. As long as these people are effing with me, they're down for me and they agree with the way I live my life and they're supportive of that, that's all I care about. Like everyone else has an opinion. Okay, you don't affect my life. Like I don't come to you for help. You're not a shoulder to lean on. You're not there in my dark days. Like you're yapping and talking from there, but who are you? Do I even know you? Like I don't care. So I think it helps that I'm able to compartmentalize between like the people who add value to my life and the people that do not add value. And then it's like opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. And I sometimes joke with my sister. Like my sister will say, "Oh, how can you handle it?" I said, "I'm built for this. I'm built for this because I understand that people will always have something to say and the negative voices are always the loudest."
Yeah.
And if you want to get anywhere in life and you want to do anything that elevates you or anything that goes down in history or anything that forms legacy or anything that is significant or you want any type of accolade, you have to understand that you will not please everybody.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to appreciate the people in your life who truly matter and learn to separate them from those who don't impact your life. Because you'll go crazy. Because and one small tweet, someone's cussing you, you'll go mad. Oh, you'll be so upset. And you just, and the thing is like a lot of, no, but it's true. And I remember like when I used to let things affect me, I'll be, oh my God, why does this person do not like me? Nah, okay, you don't like me. Okay, cool. Yeah. And this person likes me. And so like, I don't care. So I think, if you want to get anywhere in life, the bad stuff will always affect you. Don't get me wrong. It will always affect you. Like I'm not immune to it, but you need to grow a thick skin and you need to not let people's negativity get to you, because more often than not, from experience, the bad comments, a lot of the time, they come from a place of envy, of bitterness, of seeing someone live out their dream and feeling like, why them, not me? Or being resentful about their job. Oh, podcasting is so easy. Influencers, writing it is so easy. If it's so easy, come on, do it, please. And just stop yapping and let everyone rest. Like if it's so easy, do it, right? So it comes from a place of bitterness. Sometimes people will give you critique and it's warranted. I've had critique before. Like when I first started my Twitter journey, I might write something and I don't write it in the most euphemistic or PC way. Someone will call me out, and me, one thing I'm not is too proud. I'm not one of these people, I'll leave tweet there for 72 hours and let everyone be quote tweeting it. I'll delete it. I'll say, I'm sorry. Or I wrote this. I've just deleted it because someone told me that this was, or I said this in the wrong way. So I think like it comes with you need to be able to admit your failings. You need to be able to apologize when you're wrong, compartmentalize, understand who's for you and who's not for you, and just like have tunnel vision. Because if you do not have tunnel vision, you'll get distracted. You won't reach your goals if you let every sideways comment affect you. And me, I use it as fuel. All these people that were cussing me when I started, I still think about them. And I just smile in my bed. Like, I smile in my apartment like, come on, see me now. Because of you, I even pushed myself. I remember one time, one lady was like, oh, here she goes again. And I'll never forget that tweet. And she basically told me, shut up, never write again. I said, because of you, I'll write longer and longer and longer. I'll write threads for days. And I just use it as like motivation as opposed to something that will break me. So I guess that's the main thing.
No, that's it.
It's tough, man, but you just have to form a thick skin, or you crumble. In this industry, you'll crumble.
But I wish we had more time. But like, it's just I really admire the thick skin you have, because like I crumble quickly, and I'll just be like, well, I guess that's not for me. Or I don't think I go after big things because I'm worried what people will think. Like I'm worried. Oh, like for example, I think I want to write a book, but I think I want it to be a funny novel. But then I'm like, first of all, people are going to be like, why the fuck is she writing a book? She's not funny. Or why the fuck is she writing a book? She ain't going to write an experience. Then I start to think, where are all these voices coming from? It's just the devil. It's the devil trying to push me away from a goal. But also I need to I've gotten to this place in life where it's kind of like, if I want to do something that makes me happy, I'll do it. I owe it to myself. In fact, I owe it to myself to live out dreams. But sometimes there's also the nervousness of, what if people don't like it? What if it performs really badly? There's all that kind of stuff.
You only have one life to live. And people, not to be morbid, but on their deathbed, they don't regret the things they did as much as they regret the things they didn't do, right? It's always, I wish I did this more. I wish I did that more. And I think like there's the realization that you only have one life to live. And also understanding that society often encourages us to chase perfection when we're putting anything out, especially as creatives.
Yeah, definitely.
But perfection eradicates authenticity, right? And there's never a right time to do anything. People say, oh, the right time, I want to have to do this. Yeah, I want to do it at perfect time. No, there's always something wrong with that time, right? There's always another time that may be better. But sometimes you just have to bite the bullet and say, I'm going to do it. And with feedback, I totally get you, because I remember when I was putting like Instagram videos out and I'd be like, oh God, what if people hate this video, or people hate this, or people hate that? But then you have to ask yourself, what am I in this for? What am I doing this for? Because one thing about what I do, the accolades are great. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not doing it for people to clap and share and like and love. I'm doing it because in that moment, the thought came to me and I believed what I was writing and it resonated with me. And I felt like I was going to help someone by sharing it. And that kept me going, because it's like, even like through writing things, and in the beginning, some things would not get shared. I wasn't getting retweets. My things weren't going viral. I didn't stop writing because I wasn't seeing feedback, or I wasn't seeing vanity metrics. I kept writing because I felt like, this is making me feel good. I'm passionate about this. I feel like it could help people. Let me keep going. So I think like my advice to you, Vic, would be, write your book, but don't write it with the view that I'm writing it because I want people to like it. If it's a book and it's going to be a funny book, write the book that will make you laugh.
Yeah, that's probably one. Yeah.
Write the book that will make you happy, that will make you enjoy reading it. And you're not, think about like, I'm not writing it for anyone else. I'm writing it for me in the hope that anyone who's like me
exactly
will love it.
And that's how I feel about the pod. Like when we do it and like, you know, we've said before, like some people give us feedback and they're like, if you change it, you get more followers. But we're doing it for people like us. And there's a lot of people like us by the number show. Award winners and you know, lights don't. But yeah, we really appreciate you. We really, really appreciate you coming on. Like,
thank
really,
you for
really,
having
thank you.
me. What you do is amazing.
Oh,
I feel like,
thank you.
just like keep going and just like, keep doing what you're doing. And there's definitely like space for you, room for you. And I mean, you've seen it. You've seen people like appreciating what you do and showing what you do and winning awards, getting the accolades. But just keep going because we need more voices like yours, definitely.
Thank you, man.
Thank you
really
so
much.
It. Before we go, can you tell us when the book is coming out, where people can find it, and where they can find you?
So the book is out October 14th.
Yeah.
You can find it in all key bookstores. So WH Smith.
Say the name, please. I don't think we said it enough.
Oh, yeah. So the book is called I Wish I Knew This Earlier.
Yeah.
It's out on the 14th of October. You can find it in like WH Smith, Foyles, Waterstones, Amazon. Basically, if they sell books, there's a good chance it'll be there. So please let me know what you think about it if you do get it. You can actually pre-order it now from Amazon, you know, from Amazon, Waterstones, and WH Smith. So it will arrive ASAP. But I'm so interested to find out what everyone
And you have
thinks.
you have a show on the 16th of October?
Yeah, well, not anymore.
Oh, no.
It was meant to go ahead on the 16th, but they had to cancel it.
Oh, no.
But I'm hoping to reorganize something else.
Yeah, because I was going to get tickets, but I'm getting my hair done.
I
know
important.
I know it sounds crazy, but it's
I'm with
because
you.
we have our live show the next day, so it's like I can't leave this house.
Yeah,
I have to.
No, you got to sort it out.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna rearrange something. Because I would love to like meet people and speak. But in a way, I'm kind of glad that they had to reschedule because the book comes out on the 14th. I want to give people time to read it, and I want to meet them once they've read it, as opposed to meeting them off the back of like social media. So we'll see.
That'll be amazing.
Exciting times.
Don't forget to buy the book. Thank
out.
You.
Yeah. All right. Should I do the outro?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Catch us at Black Gals Livin on Twitter and Instagram. My account is jazz_BW on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me on Victoria Sanusi on Twitter and Vic Sanusi on Instagram. That's where we be. Thanks, guys. Have a lovely week. Bye.
Yeah, bye.